And good Friday evening, Southeast Texas. No changes really to speak of as far as the weather impact alert that will begin coming up tomorrow and last all through Saturday afternoon, Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday morning before we start finally starting to warm up slowly towards the middle of next week. So it looks like a wet Saturday morning and then falling temperatures coming up tomorrow all day long. In fact, we could get into the mid 30s in the lakes area by late and closer to 40 here in the Triangle. So the warmest part of the day tomorrow will occur in the morning hours, and then anywhere from nothing to as much as about a third of an inch of freezing rain or really ice accumulations across Southeast Texas, and that'll occur mainly Sunday morning. A little longer time for freezing rain to accumulate up in the lakes area before it starts moving into the Triangle, and it looks like about 9 hours or so up in the lakes area at most, and about 6 hours of ice accumulations here in the Triangle. Then Monday and Tuesday, as this all moves out by Saturday or Sunday afternoon, it looks like two really hard freezes across Southeast Texas. Just looking at the history books, and it looks like these will be record-breaking low temperatures coming up on Monday and Tuesday mornings across Southeast Texas as we go well down into the teens. So our weather impact alert is non-changed. Freezing rain possible coming up on Sunday morning, then turning very cold both those mornings. And again, it looks like maybe a tenth of an inch of ice accumulation here along I-10. That's not a big deal. Quarter to a third of an inch, that's when we start running into problems with moderate impacts up in towards the lakes area, where there could be power outages and certainly dangerous travel conditions. Certainly not recommending you get out on the road Sunday at all. Otherwise, then all that moves off, and then again we see those two hard long duration freezes as we work on in to Monday morning and Tuesday morning, and they'll likely be record breaking. So nothing has changed as far as the warning. Still a nice storm warning into Hardin, Tyler, Jasper, Newton counties and along I-10 from Lake Charles back over to Orange, Beaumont, and over towards Winnie. There is a winter weather advisory. So the winter weather advisory, not as big a deal as the ice storm warnings are. And we think, again, the best chance of icing will be occurring along Highway 190 between, let's say, Woodville, Danby, Jasper, Newton, and also over towards northern sections of Newton County, and that's Sunday morning. So the Euro just does not want to quit, and this would be the best case scenario if it's correct, is that we get a quarter of an inch of ice or less up in the lakes area, nothing into Hardin County or into Beaumont or into the Triangle. That's the best case. As you look at different models, you progressively see worse impacts across the area. Still about a quarter of an inch or thereabouts on the graph model with a little bit of icing here in the Triangle. And then the NAM shows the best icing up into Burkeville and northern Newton counties. That is pretty significant icing, and that will certainly cause tree limbs and power outages and things of that nature, with very little in the Triangle. Then the GFS showing significant icing up and towards the lakes areas. We've been saying all week long we expected ice to be up in the lakes area. Now that we have the high-res modeling, we have a little better idea of how to delineate between the Triangle and the lakes area. And again, it looks like generally up and towards the lakes area, we'll see the worst icing, unfortunately, as we head towards Sunday morning. So looking at all the different models and kind of blending them together and looking at the strengths and weaknesses of all the different ones, we still think that up towards Tyler, northern Jasper, northern Newton counties, we'll see the most significant icing, probably greater than a quarter of an inch, maybe a third of an inch up there. That's significant. You'll probably see power outages. And it looks like from roughly around Lumberton north, a quarter of an inch. That's why I have the pink and the reddish pink up towards the lakes area. This is the area that we think that at least isolated to scattered power outages are possible. When you get into the blues, it's more of a nuisance. Slick roads and spots that aren't treated, particularly on bridges and overpasses, but those will be likely treated by the highway department. So I'm not really expecting much of an impact here in the Triangle right at this point. Maybe a tenth of an inch of icing along I-10 with very little towards Mid-County and Port Arthur back over towards Winnie. That's the way it looks like right now. So not much of an impact here in the Triangle. The further north you get, the better the impacts are going to be, and particularly up along Highway 190 from, say, DeRidder, Newton, Burkeville, Jasper, Woodville, and Comanille. That's where we're going to be really watching and seeing the biggest impacts up that way. So Saturday night into Sunday, there is a cold weather advisory as wind chills will likely dip into the lower teens, maybe colder in the lakes area, mid-teens in the triangle. That is Monday morning after all this precipitation has moved out. We don't expect it to last past about noon, early afternoon hours coming up on Sunday, but Monday morning is going to be bitter cold across southeast Texas. We expect actual low temperatures into the mid-teens in the lakes area, upper teens to lower and middle 20s in the triangle. That would be record breaking for Monday morning. Tuesday morning, minus the winds, we go calm. So we're expecting low temperatures to get 12, 13, maybe 14 degrees up in the lakes area. We're going to go 17 in Beaumont and Orange, about 20, 21 into Port Arthur. That would also be record breaking. So we've got 2 nights of hard freezes across southeast Texas with record breaking cold temperatures on Monday and Tuesday mornings. Right now, it's fairly mild, if you will. Around 60 in the triangle, mid-50s in the lakes area. A lot of clouds and maybe a few sprinkles ongoing right now. Look at what's going on towards the Texas Panhandle. Hello, 5 degrees in Amarillo, 16 into Lubbock, 21 Wichita Falls, Dallas still in the mid-30s, 54 into Austin. You can see that Arctic front just off towards our north and west. This is why we are going to see falling temperatures. This first front is ahead of the Arctic front. There's the Arctic front. You can see it right there west of Waco, west of Dallas, and their temperatures are going to continue to fall overnight, and that will arrive coming up tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon across southeast Texas, and we will see those temperatures fall all day tomorrow. So taking a look at also the wind chills, this is pretty impressive. It feels like 2 degrees in Lubbock, minus 12 into Amarillo, minus 4 into Childress, 6 degrees is what it feels like into Wichita Falls. And again, you can see that Arctic front just to the west of Dallas, over towards Fort Worth, Weatherford, and to the northwest of Junction. That's when we're going to start really feeling it coming up tomorrow across southeast Texas as that cold, bitter air spills into our area. Already seeing icing occurring to the northwest of Dallas over towards Fort Worth and again Weatherford, also into Oklahoma City. Snow is indicated and back up towards north of San Angelo at this hour. And again, this will all be easing our way as we head towards Sunday morning across southeast Texas. An impressive, expansive storm system with winter storm warnings, Memphis, Little Rock, extending back towards St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Amarillo, San Angelo, back over towards San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas, and then through East Texas, including the lakes area. An ice storm warning from, that's Huntsville and to the east of Waco, all along I-20, including Tyler, extending back into central and northern portions of Louisiana. And this goes on over into North Carolina, through Tennessee, back over into Kentucky, and also into North Carolina. So this is a big storm system. It's going to affect millions of people. So tonight, spotty light showers, light stuff, maybe some fog, temperatures falling into the lower 40s lakes and into the lower 50s triangle. And then tomorrow morning, the rains will pick up across southeast Texas. This will all be liquid. No problems as far as driving due to icing. That is not going to be the case coming up, but it's just going to be cold as temperatures will be just above freezing, maybe the mid-30s by tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. and around 40 here in the triangle to the lower 40s. So no freezes tomorrow. It's tomorrow night that we run into problems as the combination of wet weather and also freezing temperatures. This is 2:30. It's mainly off to the north and west of the triangle, up in the lakes area and off towards western portions of our viewing area over towards Votop. Then this heads on into our area. There you go, Sunday morning, freezing rain. This may be a little far to the south, but as you can see, all that pink is freezing rain. It is not sleet, it is not snow. We do not expect snow this round. And by noontime, maybe even in towards 9 o'clock, this is even faster than what we saw earlier this evening. Certainly by noontime, if not sooner, this all moves out and we're left with a cloudy, windy, cold afternoon. Hopefully the lakes area can get above freezing Sunday afternoon. If you don't, then this is going to be greater than 24 hours below freezing up in the lakes area, and that's a possibility. So tonight we'll go with temperatures dropping into the low to mid 40s lakes area, lower 50s triangle, cloudy, 20% coverage of light rain. Winds will start picking up as we head towards tomorrow morning. Let me go back to that. Okay, you see that? That's our low temperature tomorrow morning. But that's also our high temperature coming up tomorrow. That's the highest it will get because it's going to go all south tomorrow as far as temperatures. By say 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, we may only be into the mid 30s in the lakes area, close to 40 to the lower 40s. That's by late in the day tomorrow as those temperatures fall all day long. Temperatures will continue to fall and the winds will be picking up out of the north and east as that Arctic front pushes through. Then as we head towards Sunday morning, it's all about how much ice we get. And again, we showed you that. It looks like mainly the lakes area, minimal impacts, if any, here in the triangle with 1/10 of an inch of ice or even less to like nothing in spots. So again, not much of an impact here in the triangle. It's pretty much, say, the other side of Lumberton on off towards northern Tyler, Jasper, and Newton counties. So again, that's where we think we're going to see that 1/4 to 1/3 inch accumulations of ice up towards the lakes area. So again, keep abreast of what's going on. Be careful with the 4 P's. No doubt about that. You'll need to be taking care of people. Be sure you are heating your house safely. Checking in on the elderly. Pets, bring them in. Pipes, you need to drip or turn the water off. And plants, cover them or bring them in. So it looks like that record-breaking low temperature will occur Monday morning. That's why we have a weather impact alert. Mid to upper 30s on Monday. We'll go 17 in Beaumont on Tuesday morning. We're talking 13 up in the lakes area, maybe colder, and maybe 47 by Tuesday because a little bit of cloud cover moves on in. Still freezing low temperatures both Wednesday and Thursday mornings. This is in Beaumont now. And we go back into the 50s. That's the good news. But then we've got another system coming in as we head towards Friday of next week. So if you're just joining us, we continue with the weather impact alert as we head on into, say, tomorrow, especially Sunday morning with the freezing rain, and then Monday and Tuesday mornings because of the cold weather. We expect anywhere from nothing to as much as about 1/3 of an inch, with the greatest icing occurring up towards the lakes area, well north of the triangle. And that will occur Sunday morning across southeast Texas, followed by 2 hard, long-duration freezes coming up on Monday and Tuesday mornings. Ice storm warnings in effect for Hardin, Tyler, Jasper, and Newton counties. A winter weather advisory, not as impactful as an ice storm warning is. That will be Jefferson County, northern Jefferson County, Orange County, back over towards Calcasieu Parish. So again, Sunday morning, we expect the best icing to occur along 190 between Woodville, Dam B, and back over towards Newton. Lesser impacts in through Kuntz, Buna, and Lumberton, but still isolated, let's say, isolated power outages here. It's mainly up towards the north where we could see scattered power outages as tree limbs break under the weight of the ice and then fall on power lines. That's kind of reminiscent of the 1997 ice storm that we had here in the Triangle. That is not expected to be the case here in the Triangle coming up. Probably the case up over towards the lakes area. Minimal, if any, impact here along I-10 and minor ice accumulations, if at all,